In the late 20th century, Kodak had a near monopoly on film.
Say, do you know what this is? It's a Kodak 35mm color slide. Take a snapshot. There's just one exposure setting, and you're in business. You aim and shoot.
Kodak announces a whole new way to make pictures.
And remember, your surest way to better movies is to insist on the name Kodak.
It was a member of the Dow Jones Index, a list of 30 of America's most prominent companies for over 70 years. Kodak was so good at what it did and became so dominant in photography that by 1976, 85% of all film cameras and 90% of all film sold in the US was Kodak. Snapshots worth capturing were dubbed a Kodak Moment. Paul Simon even wrote a song about their colour film. But in 2004, Kodak was removed from the Dow Jones Index, and in 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. Where did it all go wrong for the film giant, and why does it seem like this is such a common occurrence? In 1965, companies stayed in the S&P 500 for an average of 33 years. By 1990, that figure dropped to 20 years. And at the current rate, about half of today's S&P 500 firms will be replaced over the next 10 years. The evolution of markets and company life cycles are complex and ever-changing. Charles Darwin stated that it's not the most intellectual of the species that survives. It's not the strongest that survives, but the species that survives is the one that is able best to adapt and adjust to the changing environment in which it finds itself. Adapt or die stands true for both animals and corporates. And there's always great lessons to learn from the companies and firms that get left behind. Let's have a look at Kodak and one of the hidden benefits of index investing. Kodak's first camera was launched in 1886, but its dominance began in 1900 with the launch of an affordable film camera at $1, or approximately $35 in today's money. In addition, Kodak was a key player in the development of colour movies. Kodak operated on a razor and blades business model. They would sell the camera itself at a low margin and the consumable film at a high margin. Gross margins on film ran close to 70%, and a massive distribution network helped build Kodak into one of the strongest brands in the world. Ironically, the first portable digital camera was invented by a Kodak employee, but because of a lack of economies of scale, Kodak shelved the product. Management believed that launching the low-margin digital camera would cannibalize their core business. Over the next 20 years, Kodak continued to reap the benefit of being a leading provider of film. The problem with that is that within 5 years of patenting the digital camera invention, demand for film had peaked. Look at this graph. By 2000, digital camera sales had grown more than 500%. Conversely, analog camera sales were on the way down and falling fast. Once a phrase synonymous with a moment worth capturing, a Kodak moment now commonly represents a business's failure to anticipate. Between 2007 and 2010, company revenues decreased by 30% as competitors such as Sony and HP thinned out margins in the digital space. By 2012, Kodak's near monopoly on photography had vanished and the company had filed for bankruptcy. So what's the lesson? This is just one example of a company that failed to evolve with the times. Investors in Kodak from its peak in 1976 would have lost their entire investment if they had held the stock until its bankruptcy in 2012. But if you had held the S&P 500, an index holding Kodak, you would have made almost 16 times your investment over the same period. Part of the reason why index investing is so popular is that you're always holding a group of stocks. Individual companies that move out of the index and fail won't impact your performance as much as if you were holding that individual stock. And that's the lesson. Indexing has the powerful ability to always evolve with markets, even when individual companies don't. Thanks for watching this video. We hope you learned something and enjoyed it. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and definitely check out our website for more information. Bye for now.